Hello everyone, welcome back to Let's Get On With It, Lone Wolf. More specifically, I think this is Fire on the Water? Yeah, Fire on the Water, the second book of the series. When last we left off, I played all the way back up to this point. For the most part I was successful, although I did end up brute forcing my way through a Hellghast in order to obtain a magic spear, because I wanted to see how it was. Figured what the hell, I'll use it, see what happens. I'll take it with me, which of course means that I possess a magic spear, but I do not wish to give it to Rygard. Now, personally, I think it's a little suspicious that if you have a magic spear but give it away to Rygard, or if you do not possess a magic spear, you don't immediately lose. That's all one choice, whereas if you possess a magic spear, that's a whole different category, and I'm interested to see where that leads me. I think I'm near the end of the second book, if only because this has gone on for a while, but I could be wrong. I could be here for another 45 more minutes. I think it's enough review. Let's get started. I possess a magic spear, but do not wish to give it to Rhaegar. Tarnalin is a wonder to behold. Over 100 feet in height and width, the tunnel runs to the capital on the far side of Hammerdall Range. Usually it is alive with a traffic of wagons and people to and from Port Bax, but as you enter, you find it deserted except for an overturned fruit cart. The road that disappears into the torchlit tunnel is empty and quiet. As you walk along the paved road, you get an uneasy feeling that perhaps the Hellghast have arrived at Tarnalin before you. You've been walking for nearly an hour when the tunnel splits in two. Oh. See now, if memory serves, and let me just quickly confirm that, because I've been down this path. Yep. That's what I thought. Keeping the magic spear removes the animal kinship selection with what presumably is an opportunity for you to get out of here. I don't know if there's like a drawback to using that opportunity to get out of here, but yeah. So, maybe there are only two ways to get out of here. Animal kinship, if you didn't get a magic spear, or the magic spear. And, they're kind of, well, the animal kinship path's mutually exclusive, but then again, you won't have a magic spear if you end up seeing that option choice. And as, I don't know for sure, but from what I read in the errata, there's only one opportunity to get the magic spear. That means you gotta take that left fork in the road, and, you gotta end up in the glade, and you actually have to fight away the Zulls or the S-men, and you actually have to pull out the fucking spear from the Hellghast, and then fight the Hellghast, which is a really hard battle. So, basically, if you don't pick animal kinship, you're fucked in book 2. That's what the book is telling you. Well, this is the same book that fucking kills you instantaneously, so suppose that's not actually a surprise to me, but still, come on, bro, come on. Well, I took the left path last time. Let's go ahead and use tracking here. Let's see what happens. You sense that the left tunnel is the quickest route to Hammerdall by about 2 miles. Just before you reach the junction, you come across a large puddle in the center of the highway. You notice that 2 sets of footprints about the size and shape of a man's boot trail away from the water and lead off into both tunnels. The prints are still wet. You judge they were made within the last 20 minutes. Well, I took the left tunnel last time, and I bet that leads towards that fucking cart thing that I tried to outrun. Let's take the right tunnel this time. Let's explore. You have walked for nearly a mile along this deserted tunnel when you see a flight of steps cut into the rock face to your left. They lead to a platform which runs the length of the tunnel ceiling. It is used to service the torches. Let's go ahead and utilize the Guidance from the Sixth Sense. Your Kai sense warns you that there is something evil hiding in the darkness of the platform. Well, I could confront it, but let's try what I tried doing on the left path. Sprint past the steps and platform. You pass the stone steps and continue along the highway. You have just passed under the platform when you hear a noise above you. You stop and stare upwards, but you can see nothing in the gloom of the tunnel ceiling. Suddenly, from out of the darkness, there is a blood-chilling cry. What do you know? So, each path contains its very own Hellghast. You cannot outrun them, you must confront them. And you need a magic spear in order to survive this encounter. because that's the only magic weapon you're going to have at this point, since mundane weapons do not affect them. And if you don't have a magic spear, you die, which means that you better fucking pick animal kinship. That's great. Well, I have a magic spear. Let's use it. You grab the shaft of the spear and thrust it upwards into the ribcage of the Helghast. It screams in agony of rage and releases its grip on your throat. You roll away in time to see the hideous creature fall writhing on the ground, desperately trying to pull the spear from its body. Oh, I didn't have to go through a painful combat section of which I was most likely going to lose, and I would have forced myself to create a new character from scratch at that point. That's great. Well, I ain't fucking running away. Grab the shaft of the spear and drive it deeper into the Helghast. I ain't fucking leaving the spear behind, not after all the bullshit I went through. You fucking kidding me? The horrific sight of the writhing creature fills you with loathing for the Dark Lords and their evil minions. When the Helghast has finally crumbled to nothing, and you are quite sure that it's been destroyed, you remove the magic spear and wipe the tip on its smoldering robe. Anxious to leave this place, you run down the tunnel as fast as you can. You have covered nearly 3 miles when you see a group of wagons in the distance. They have been strung out across the highway to form a barricade. Soldiers in red uniforms line the roofs of the wagons, and a large crowd of people have gathered behind them. You can hear their excited chatter echoing along the tunnel. As you get closer, there is a sudden silence as all eyes turn to stare at you. A detachment of 10 soldiers, led by a knight whose shield bears the royal arms of Doranor, advances towards you. I think I'm going to raise my hands and walk towards them. I'm not going to attack them. Cautiously, the soldiers surround you and take your weapons and backpack. You do not need to adjust your action chart. The knight steps forward and raises the visor of his helm. Who are you? What is your purpose in Tarnalin? He demands in a gruff voice. We have a picture there. That's great. The knight is Lord Axum of Rhyme, commander of King Alan's personal bodyguard. You tell him that you are a Kai Lord from Summerland on an urgent mission to King Alan. He seems convinced by your words until you show him the seal of Hammerdall. Then, without hesitation, he orders his men to return your belongings and ushers you through the wall of wagons. Beyond, you can see a horse-drawn carriage waiting in the center of the crowded tunnel. Back to Hammerdall without delay, he orders the driver, and you are thrown back in your seat as the coach moves off at breakneck speed. You soon learn that the knight is Lord Axum of Rhyme, commander of King Alan's personal bodyguard. He was on his way to Port Bax when the Helghast entered Tarnalin. He and 10 soldiers were the only ones to survive a deadly encounter with these evil creatures. During your ride through the Tarnalin, you must eat a meal or lose 3 endurance points. I'll use hunting. The journey to the capital will take 5 hours, and you are advised by Lord Axum to get some rest. As you slowly drift off to sleep, you begin to dream about the Summer's Word. Summer's Word. Sword. Sword of the Sun. Summer Sword. That blade I was supposed to... The magic blade that I was supposed to acquire. For something. Yeah. You picture a triumphant return to Homeguard to the defeat of the Dark Lord Siege. Perhaps it will be a good omen of events to come. It is early morning on the 15th day of your quest when you open your eyes to the breathtaking spectacle of Hammerdall, the Belton City. The capital of Doranor, like other cities in the Lastlands, does not need man-made fortifications. The encircling peaks of the Hammerdall Range offer a far more secure protection to the people within. Like so, the King's Tower, magnificent structure of glass and stone. Glass, huh? Oh yeah, that's truly a stalwart, material. The carriage speeds through the lush farmlands surrounding the city with its many towers and wide streets. On a hill in the very center of Hammerdall stands the King's Tower, magnificent structure of glass and stone. As the carriage halts at the tower gates, you suddenly realize for the first time that as a wielder of the Sword of the Sun, your destiny is to become part of the oldest legend of the Lastlands. King Alan IV sits alone in his domed tower, viewing his mountain domain through one of the many portals of tinted glass. You and Lord Axum are formally announced as you enter the chamber, and you respectfully bow to his majesty. Then, Lord Axum removes the seal of Hammerdall from your finger and walks over to the king's side. Erase it. So, goodbye. For nearly an hour they talk, their somber faces reflecting the seriousness of the situation. There is a short pause, a silent meditation, and King Alan suddenly rises from his throne and addresses you for the first time. That's great. Glad I got to stand there for an hour, asshole. Alas, the Dark Lords have awoken once more, and once more does Summerlin come in search of our aid. I had prayed that my reign would be remembered as a time of peace and fulfillment, but in my heart I knew it was to be otherwise. The king removes a golden key from the pocket of his white robe and inserts it into a marble dais standing in the center of the chamber. A gentle humming fills the room as the stone cover slides back to reveal the hilt of a golden sword. Take the sword, Lone Wolf. It is foretold that only a true son of Summerlin can release the powers that lie within its blade. As you grasp the glowing hilt, a tingling sensation runs up your arm and radiates through your body. Suppose this would have been a time to have, Frog's epic music playing in the background. But I don't. Also, why am I looking at this? I don't know. I was gonna look at my fur blanket, I guess. Do I still need these tickets and passes? Maybe. I have the guy discipline of Sixth Sense. The power coursing through your body so overwhelms your senses that you have become oblivious to your surroundings. You instinctively raise the blade above your head where a shaft of sunlight suddenly catches upon its very tip and floods the chamber with a blinding white glow. At that moment, the true power of the sword of the sun is revealed to you. This weapon was forged long before the Sumlinding, the Durinese, or the Dark Lords dwelt in the last lands. Its makers were of a race that men would now call gods. To release the power that it contains, only a Kai Lord may wield it. Should it be used in combat by anyone who is not a Kai Lord, its power will fade and be lost forever. When used in combat, the Sword of the Sun will add 8 points to your combat skill, or 10 points if you possess the Kai discipline of weapon skill with swords. It has the ability to absorb any magic that is used against its bearer, and it doubles the total of all endurance points lost by undead enemies, like Helghast, in combat. It is the only weapon in all of Magnamund that can kill a Dark Lord, and for this reason the Dark Lords are bent on thwarting your quest. You now realize you hold the only power in Magnamund that can save your people. Slowly the light starts to fade, and you become aware of Lord Axum's hand upon your shoulder. Come, Lord Lone Wolf. There is much to prepare for your return to Summerland. You sheath the summer sword and its jeweled scabbard, and follow Lord Axum as he leaves the king's chamber. Make the necessary adjustments to your combat skill total now that you possess the summer sword. Note the power of the sword in the special items section of your action chart. So, we have the Sword of the Sun here, which I was told to pronounce it in an exacting way, which I have already forgotten. It looks like Summer Sword to me. So I'm totally going to say Summer Sword, and there's nothing you can do to stop that. Only there's something I can do to stop that. Plus a combat skill, X2 damage versus undead. Shit, that's too long. Versus undead. Damn it. V undead. Good. So, with my shield there, that gives me plus 10. Nice. Double damage versus undead, though, sounds like another thing I'm gonna have to purposely keep track of. Joy to the fucking world. And I bet that won't stop me from achieving, insta-death. The Summer Sword is a weapon-like special item. And plus 2 for weapon skill with short sword, sword, or broadsword, as each of them grant proficiency with this weapon. When used in combat, treated like a one-handed sword, regardless of weapon skill bonus. Nice. And the text will always remind you to double your enemy's endurance point lost. That's great. Great. The muster of the army and the preparation of the Durinese fleet takes 14 days to complete. So 15 days to get here, 14 days, so 29 days, during which time you remain as a guest of the King of in Hammerdall. As each day passes, you despair for your besieged countrymen of Homeguard and pray that they have enough strength to resist the Dark Lords until you return. Every day of your reluctant exile, you devote long periods to exercise and meditation. You are also visited by a Durinese herb warden called Marin Rindalem, who is famous throughout the last lands for his knowledge and skill in the healing arts. I haven't lost any, but I get a potent Lomspur potion. Lomspur potion plus 5 end. He is also the bearer of some sad news. The body of Lord Lieutenant Rygar was found in the forest near to the entrance to Tarnalin. He was killed by Helghast. I do have the kindness one to 6 sense. You have noticed during your rigorous training exercises with the Summer Sword that your kindness one to 6 sense has become more sensitive than ever before. You knew exactly what his sad news was long before he actually told you. You may find that your improved 6 sense will be an important advantage upon your return to Homeguard. 6 sense squared? I don't know. It is early in the morning of the 33rd day of your quest when you ride into Port Bax with Lord Axum at your side. The preparations for war have been completed. The galleons of the Durnese war fleet lie at anchor in the harbor, impatiently awaiting the order to set sail for Summerland. On board each ship are many brave soldiers from the Mountain Kingdom, a tough army of skilled warriors, eager to face the Dark Lords in battle. Each man has sworn to avenge their besieged allies or die in the attempt. You are to sail back to Homeguard aboard the flagship Durinor, a warship whose great curving prow and tall masts emphasize its sheer power and strength. You and Lord Axum are taken aboard and welcomed by Admiral Calfin, commander of the fleet, and then the fleet prepares to sail. In less than an hour, the harbor lies far behind you. The domes of Port Bax are now merely darts. Damn it, I'm not saying words. The domes of Port Bax are now merely dots on the horizon. Oh boy, pick a number from the random number table time. You save your people. You don't save your people. You fall off the boat and die. Calling it right now. 0. For 3 days and nights, the mighty fleet of Durinor steers swiftly towards the Home Gulf, a strong wind filling the sails of the warships. But although the voyage is fast, the soldiers' confidence and eagerness for battle has slowly faded, as if their will has been drained by some invisible vampire. Lord Axum is close to despair. This black mood that haunts our decks is the evil work of the Dark Lords. I know of their power to turn a man's mind, but the curse that befalls us is a sorcery we cannot even see to destroy. How I pray that this spell would end, for even if we arrive at our destination, I fear that we are too weak in mind to break our foe. As if in answer to his prayer, the black curse seems to be lifted from the fleet with the dawning of the next day. The spell is replaced by a threat far deadlier. Oh boy! A veil of sea fog has rolled across the still ocean from the broken spine of land known as the Kirlundin Isles. Strange, dark shapes hide within this mist. They are growing larger, and slowly the distinct outlines of ships become plain. Prepare for battle, the Admiral's cry is repeated along the many decks of the Durnese fleet. All hands on deck! As the black ships approach through the fog, a horrific sight befalls you. They are death hulks, sunken ships crewed by the living corpses of drowned sailors. They have been summoned to the surface by great wizardry, and they are closing for battle. Suddenly the fog vanishes, and you can now see that the death hulks bar the entrance to the Home Gulf. In the center of their line is their sinister flagship. Swiftly it sails towards you, a huge ram protruding from its black prow. As it whips its way through the hull of the Durinor, you hear the Admiral's last desperate order. Abandon ship! You are now in the thick of the enemy fleet, and the Durinor... Wow! So, our epic flagship here just got Ponzored. So much for me thinking that this book was over. I thought I could at least survive book 2. Oh man, I don't want to dive into the sea and try to swim to another Durnese ship. Oh man. God damn it, I gotta swim in the water again? Are you fucking kidding me? I don't know what I want to do here. Well, let's go ahead and save here. I don't know what I want to do. Damn it. Oh. I've even been recording for 20 minutes. Oh man. Because you see, since I have the Summer Sword, I kind of want to play the hero here. I don't want to jump onto the deck of the Death Hulk flagship. However, you know, there might be hordes, countless, untold hundreds, if not thousands of dudes who will promptly Ponzors me in an instant death maneuver before I can, like, say, get to the captain and stop this attack. You know what? I brute forced my way into getting that magic spear. I got the fucking magic weapon here. I gotta save my peeps here. I gotta do something. Kylo just can't kick back and relax. I mean, if our fleet gets fucked over here, I'm not gonna make it back in time to save my people in Home Guard. And I'm not fucking drowning myself in fucking ocean water again. Let's do this shit. You land on the rotting timbers and crash straight through to the deck below. You are unharmed by the fall, but the stench of decay that fills your nostrils is overwhelming. You clamber up and unsheath the summer sword. 4 ghastly zombies stagger out of the gloom, their twisted hands extended towards your throat. You must fight them. Why do people keep going after the throat? I mean, I know it's a vulnerable part of the body, but there are so many other vulnerable parts of the body. I mean, again, I guess they are zombies, so what the fuck do they know? Still, come on. Come on. Is it just like a cool fantasy thing to do whenever you choke the life out of someone? It's kind of hard to do. I mean, you take my throat, for instance. I mean, whatever. They are undead creatures, so remember to double all endurance points they lose to the power of the sword. Right. So, let's go ahead and plug them in here. I kind of, I more than double their combat skill. So let me just go ahead and roll one attack round here. Fuck your double damage! Wham! I don't need double damage. Fuck your couch. The stench of the ship is making you choke. You lose 1 endurance point. You must get out of this vile hold or you will suffocate. I guess maybe I don't heal. Oh shit! I subtracted way too much. I guess I probably don't get that health back, or do I? Does that do the suffocation damage? I don't know. Let's use the guidance one of 6 cents. Someone or something is approaching the door of the hold from the other side. If you climb out to the shattered deck, you will leave your legs vulnerable to attack from below, and there is no other way out. You sense that it is an evil creature, some considerable power. Raise the summer sword and prepare for attack. Fuck it. Fuck your suffocation damage. I must get out of the vile hold, though. Whatever. The door bursts open and in rushes a Hellghast, its black sword raised. You strike the creature as it enters the hold and open a terrible gash at its chest. It lets out a hideous cry, but although badly wounded, it leaps forward to attack you. You must fight this creature to the death. Excuse me. So wait a second. So this guy is less of a threat than that one Hellghast I had to fight, who after I pulled out the magic spear, immediately and instantaneously healed himself, plus dealt 2 damage to me, plus dealt 2 damage to me for each additional round. Now, does the summer sword protect me from that bullshit? Or was that fight just even super rigged, so that the only way for you to bypass, fucking animal kinship is to win a rigged battle? So, yeah. I guess let's get this started then. I only have to deal 10 endurance points of damage to it. I don't know. I don't think this action chart factors, the fact that I have this epic sword in. So, 7 points. So 7 times 2 is 14. And now only has 6 endurance points. And now it's dead. Okay. That's fine with me. I win. Hooray! Heal a point. You make your way up a flight of stairs and onto the crowded deck. Fierce battle rages all around you as the Durnese fleet is engulfed by the rush of ghostly death hulks. Suddenly, a flash of searing flames shoots from a tower at the rear of the death hulk you are on and explodes into the side of a Durnese warship less than 50 yards away. You watch with horror as soldiers leap from the deck, their clothes and hair in flames. I ain't fucking escaping from shit. I fucking jumped at this goddamn thing. I'm gonna fucking keep fighting. Let's investigate the tower. 2 zombies try to block your passage, but you cleave them in half with one sweep of your sword. You are at the foot of the tower, and you can now see a hunchback man in crimson robes above you. He wears a tall, curved talkmore, a magician's headdress. It bears the emblem of the serpent, and his right hand is a black staff. I have been given a crystal star pendant, so let's turn immediately to 113. So I guess that option supersedes all others. He is Vonatar the Traitor, renegade wizard from the Magician's Guild of Toran. He is a master of the black arts and now possesses great power which the Dark Lords themselves have given him. It was his agents who tried to assassinate you during your quest, and it is he who commands the Death Hulk fleet. Destroy Vonatar and you will destroy the evil force that gives power to the Death Hulks and their crews. It is likely that the information provided here is a combination of the information given to you previously by Bainton and the Kai Discipline of Sixth Sense, both of which you must have in order to receive the Crystal Star Pendant. So I may climb the tower and attack. Well, fuck, he's going to keep coming after me until I'm dead. I must fight him now. The climb is very difficult, for you have only one free hand. The other holds the glowing hilt of your sword. You eventually reach the rim of the tower and quickly hook a leg over the narrow ledge. You are about to jump into the tower and attack, when a thin voice makes you freeze. How I shall delight in the irony of your death, lone wolf. The sorcerer is standing in the far corner of the tower, his left hand... There's a corner in the tower? Whatever. His left hand pointed at your head. I guess it doesn't have to be circular. Your quest has failed, lone wolf. Now you must die. A blinding flash of orange flame shoots from his hand towards your face. I can't select it. In a fraction of a second, the searing burst of flame changes direction in midair and is drawn towards the blade of the sword. The bolt of energy disappears into the golden blade like water into a drain. You remember that the sword has the power to absorb magic. This power has saved you from certain death. The sorcerer curses you, pulls a jewel from his ornate talkmore, and throws it at your feet. There is a flash of flame, and a cloud of choking green gas billows up in your face, filling your nostrils with its acidic smell. You are forced to jump to the deck below to avoid the poisonous gas, and you just catch a glimpse of the sorcerer as he frantically paddles a small boat away from the Death Hulk flagship. Like I said, want to stay out of the fucking water. And who knows what sort of tricks he might be able to pull, as he can obviously outrun me in his boat. Hopefully his exit makes things better. Let's fight our way back to Adurni's warship. As you race along the corpse-littered deck, 2 Drekarim warriors emerge from a doorway and attack you by surprise. You must fight them one at a time. So, these aren't undead. Alright, that's good to know. That's good to know. I presume it would have told me if they were undead, as it said it would remind me in any situation whether they were undead. Okay. Well, shit, this is probably going to be a little hard. I may evade combat at any stage by diving into the sea, but no, I'm not fucking dive into the sea. I said I wouldn't. Also, how many points did I heal there? How many was that? Sorry, guys. 20. I pressed +1 there, I'm sure. And I pressed +1 here. 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 So I'm almost fully healed. Okay, let's do this then. Short round of combat, go. Sweet. Let's fight another round, and he's dead. Now let's fight the other one, who's 16 and 26. Sweet. This fucking bonus combat skill is not insignificant. Luck is with you, for you land safely on the deck of the Calcarm, Adurni's warship. The soldiers here have been involved in a desperate battle, but have fought off the enemy and are cutting the grappling ropes that hold the ship to a Death Hulk. From out of the smoke strides Lord Axum, his face bloodied and his shield badly scarred. Thank the gods you are alive, lone wolf. The fight has been bitter and our losses are high, but I am heartened indeed to see you standing before me now, he says, and leads you to the ship's rail. Look yonder, their flagship is ablaze. Through the fog of war, you can see that the huge Death Hulk is slowly sinking beneath a plume of dense black smoke. The Calcarm is eventually freed, and slowly it maneuvers out of the tangle of wreckage. A wind begins to stir, filling its tattered sails and carrying away the smoke of battle. Lord Axum orders the royal arms of Doranor to be hoisted aloft so that the other ships can rally to the Calcar. For the first time since the battle began, you can now see the other Duranese ships. It is an amazing sight, for as the enemy flagship sinks beneath the waves, so every Death Hulk on the horizon returns to its watery grave. Their sorcery is broken. We have won this battle, says Lord Axum. Within a few minutes, not one of the Death Hulks remains afloat. That's great. I'm glad we could fucking rampage across that goddamn boat. Perhaps there's another way to survive by being in the water, but I don't know. I'm glad I chose the path I did. It was rewarding. 70 Duranese warships left port backs, but only 50 now entered the home Gulf. That's not bad, considering what the fuck we fought. The battle has claimed many brave men, including Admiral Calfin, that's probably a bad thing, who died aboard the flagship Doranor, the first ship to be sunk. But despite the heavy loss, a great victory has been won, a victory which inspires the Duranese soldiers with new strength, so that the past ordeal of both the voyage and the battle are now forgotten. As their optimism and determination return, all are eager to reach Holmgard and raise the siege. It is dusk on the 37th day of your quest when you sight the spires of Holmgard on the horizon. The city still stands defiantly against the army of Dark Lords, although constantly under siege. Flickering the darkness, you can see the small fires which burn throughout the capital. A confident Lord Axum joins you at the prow. The moonless sky will aid us this night. We shall enter the harbor unseen. Come the dawn, my men will scatter the wretched foe like dead leaves upon the wind of a storm. As you enter Holmgard harbor, at the head of the Duranese fleet, you unsheath the summer sword and prepare to fulfill your destiny. So, I didn't know that we were going to have this epic fight all within the second book here. Holy shit. Website? Website, yoo-hoo! Let's go ahead and save my character sheet again, just in case. Website, yoo-hoo! There we go. Holmgard has suffered much since your departure. Many of the shops and houses you remember passing on your way to the quay are little more now than heaps of ashes. The Dark Lord's army with their evil engines of war surround the walls, and the flaming arcs of fireballs shooting through the air continually light the night sky as they rain down the streets below. The people fight the fire as best they can, but they are hungry and exhausted and close to surrender. At first, as it enters the harbor, the fleet is mistaken for the enemy, and cries of despair can be heard all along the quay. But as the first of the soldiers set foot in the city and unfurl the royal arms of Duranor, the news of your return spreads quickly. The cries of despair have changed to a chorus of cheers. The Kai Lord has returned. As you stand there, wearing your fucking green cloak and tunic, you are standing at the top of the great watchtower, high above the main gate of the city, when the first light of dawn creeps slowly over the horizon. Thousand upon thousand of the black-clad enemy are massed around the city wall, huddled like beetles in the trenches that cover the plain. In the midst of this horde, a great red tent has been erected, bearing the symbol of a broken skull. It is the mark of Zagarna, Lord of Kag, a dark lord of Helgadad. His great ambition is the destruction of Holmgard, his fiercest desire to lead his army to victory over the House of Ulnar and claim Summerland for his own. But victory is not to be his this day. Raising the summer sword high above your head, a shaft of dawn sunlight catches upon the tip of the golden sword, and a brilliant flash of blinding white flame runs the entire length of the blade. The power of your sword electrifies you. Your senses reel, and now your body reacts instinctively. You lower your sword and point the blade towards the tent of Lord Zagarna. There's a mighty roar as the power of the sun sword is unleashed in a searing white beam. The tent explodes, and a brilliant fireball of white flame mushrooms skyward. A long and terrible cry rends the air. It is Lord Zagarna, the leader of the evil army of... It's just fucking insta-death. What I presume is a powerful creature. Lol, noob, you must have rolled a 0 on your random number table. Oh, it's great. Woo! Gripped with fear and panic, the vast black army rise up and run in chaos from the city wall. The impossible has happened. Their invincible master is slain. Again your sword has returned to defeat them. The army and the allies of Duranor ride out of the city gates in pursuit of the panic-stricken enemy as they run blindly towards the Durncrag Mountains. The victory is yours. Homeguard is saved, and the murder of the Kai has finally been avenged. That seems almost a little anticlimactic somehow, not gonna lie. Shouldn't have rolled a 0 on your random number table, noob. But for you, Lone Wolf, a life of high adventure has only just begun. A new challenge waits you and your sword in Book 3 of the Lone Wolf series, The Caverns of Cult. Well, I ain't fucking embarking on that shit today. I'm not even sure if I'm going to record this anymore, but, hey. It's been done now. So, we actually survived the book successfully. I'm a bit amazed that I did that. With my brute force magic spear and everything. Hooray! So, yeah. I'm fucking destroyer of everything now. I wonder if this fucking sword is awesome. And I bet there are multiple ways over the course of the series to lose the sword. Because it's so awesome. Oh, man. Alright. I think we're done here. I don't know whether I'm going to record more of these. Hasn't always been the best. Attempting to do something blind and then uploading it onto the internet, I have expectations, and of course, I'm gonna be told things that I don't want to be told. Things happen, but still, I would like to continue to explore these books and learn them on my own time, and that's not always possible because people, of course, want to share their own experiences and things that might have been missed and what happened. And being blind prevents them from sharing all that stuff. Oh, well. We'll see how I feel. But I certainly did start exploring them, and I have, for the most part, enjoyed them. And I got a lot of you people interested in the series as well, so if nothing else occurs from the series, I'm satisfied overall. So, I'll see you all later, whether it's at another video in this series or another video somewhere else. Toodaloo.